You guys ever notice how much right-wing content is just slop? And I know that conservatives watching this video are pretty likely to say, you're just calling it that because you disagree with them. But that's really not my reason. I've seen conservative content that's at least high production value and seems like it's made by people who believe the things that they're saying. I don't really consider that slop. Hell, the production value doesn't even have to be high for me to consider it not slop. But overwhelmingly, the most popular and successful conservative content is blatant, clear slop. And yet conservative viewers consume it like pigs. Why do they do this? My reasoning, my explanation, has always been that with conservatives, they are nothing but audience capture. To be the top of the food chain in the world of conservative pundits is to tell a lowest common denominator audience exactly what they want to hear as often as possible, and to monetize that as much as you possibly can. That is how you reach the top as a conservative pundit. And I've started to notice that over time, I'm seeing more and more people start to catch on to this blatant grift that has gripped the internet, with all these right-wing figures just taking the easy path of dishonest grifting to an easy big payout, right? Now, I got recommended of one of these videos of somebody recognizing this and calling it out, which has been a rising trend lately, as I've made a couple of videos about recently, by a YouTuber named DJ Peach Cobbler. It's called "I Am Begging You to Stop Caring." I think this has a lot to do with the obsession that the people on the right have with watching their slop merchants tell them what they want to hear. And it's become so blatant, people are calling it out. I haven't seen the video yet, so I think it's going to be pretty interesting. People have recommended it to me, so let's check it out. I am begging you to stop caring. What do you mean? What do you mean I've got better things to care about than, like, the race of a character in a game that's not out yet? What do you mean?
Once a year, I make a video that I regret. And it's time. See what I wrote there on the computer, son? Does the extra bone in black people's ankles help them run faster?
That is a very Yahoo Answers question.
Pretty good, huh? What do you mean? Dad, do black people have an extra bone in their ankles? No, that's stupid. And why are you asking people that? Well, to make them angry. So, how's the job search going? Really? You don't see how funny this is? I mean, no. You were slightly racist on the internet. Who gives a shit? No, it's not about that. Just wait for it. It'll happen any second now. Dad, we're going to get foreclosed on any sec. Oh, there it is. See, just read that. The question you have asked is very deeply offensive and can be traced back to a myth perpetuated by... Yeah, I'm not reading all of that. No one does. I'm certainly not going to. How long did it take for them to look up all that shit, you think? How mad do you think they got when they saw that stupid question? It took me 3 seconds to type out. They must have wasted 30 minutes. Maybe...
This is actually an amazing little skit here at the start of this video. My god, what a concise way to explain the way these, like, right-wing trolls operate. So this person, so simple, stupid, racist, conspiracy spreading statement doesn't even present itself like a statement of a lie. It's a question. So you can't even accuse them of spreading a lie because they asked a question, right? This is why it's such an effective troll. Someone who is genuine and informed, or at least wanted to go out and inform themselves enough to debunk this point, said the question you have asked is deeply offensive and can be traced back to a myth perpetuated by racist pseudoscience from the 19th century. Specifically, a scientist, quote-unquote, in 1874 named Alfred Horngold made this claim after he looted and whatever this is enough. If you pause to read this, you a bitch. I guess he copy-pasted this from Wikipedia for putting this together. That's funny. If you pause to read this, you a bitch. I guess I'm a bitch, guys. He got me.
Offensive and can be traced back to a myth perpetuated by... Yeah, I'm not reading all of that. No one does. I'm certainly not going to. How long did it take for them to look up all that shit, you think? How mad do you think they got when they saw that stupid question? It took me 3 seconds to type out. They must have wasted 30 minutes, maybe even an hour of their life, so that they could win an argument with a person that doesn't really exist. Huh. That is sort of funny. Frightened? You should be. What you have just witnessed has grown into a multi-billion-dollar industry. It has underpinned successful marketing campaigns for Fortune 500 companies, built media empires which have become household names, and one day may, quite possibly, become the end of the internet. In this video, we're going to discuss the trolling industrial complex, the source of civil unrest which is tearing our nation apart and ruining all of your Thanksgiving dinners. Hey! Remember Jake Paul's gay little slap fight with the elderly man? That was very interesting. It obviously wasn't, but everything around it, like the entire reason it happened in the first place, it's a boxing match. But it obviously was not for boxing fans.
It's because the reason why people watch this shit and give their, like, this was obviously free to watch, I think, on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe you had to pay to view it. I don't know. I didn't watch it. Regardless, though, the reason why people pay to watch these things is because they want to see Logan, or is it, I think it's Jake. They want to see Jake Paul finally get KO'd. They want to see Jake Paul take one to the chin and just fall on his back cold, knocked out, seeing stars. That is what everyone is tuning in to try and see. When it doesn't happen, everyone says it's rigged because they're upset that the thing they came to see happen didn't happen. But as long as people want to see that happen, because everyone hates him, and he is such a hateable guy who's so successful despite how hateable he is, people will keep tuning in and, like, feeding into his success because they want to finally see him fall.
Fans don't tune into boxing matches because they want to see a specific person that they don't like get their ass whooped. That's what people tune into, like, wrestling for, you know, to watch the bad guy get beat up. But everybody tuned into this match for that reason, and that reason alone. People watched this because they hate Jake Paul. And
well, to be fair, Jake Paul has fans. Although, to be fair, none of them have, like, none of them are old enough to have financial, like a bank account or a debit card or a credit card in order to pay to watch these fights. So I'm sure none of them are watching. So yeah, the people who are pay-per-viewing to watch this shit are his haters, for sure. I don't believe that Jake and Logan Paul have a sizable adult audience, outside of the crypto scammer scene, I guess.
And they wanted to see him lose. It had over 108 million viewers worldwide. Jake Paul made $40 million in one night because you hate him, because you can't help yourself. And you know what really fascinated me about the whole thing? It was Jake Paul's entrance. It was straight out of the WWE. We live in frustrating times, where a myriad of special interest groups control our media, and also keep parking a van outside my house. In this modern age, it's difficult to ascertain whether or not Logan Paul did skin a puppy on a live stream, or if this is mere slander spread by Bangladeshi lobbyist groups. With Straight Arrow News, you can get to the truth. I love how many of their news stories are accompanied by...
Alright. We're not doing the sponsored bit. They didn't pay me.
The truth. Thank you, Straight Arrow News, for sponsoring this fever dream. Before we continue, we must define what trolling is. Trolling is not just being mean on the internet. It doesn't mean being a jerk. It doesn't mean arguing. The term actually...
Well, okay. I guess, really, if you were going to narrow trolling down to its most essential definition, I would give trolling a definition of taking an action that makes others engage in more action than you did. You do a thing that is very low effort, and then you just sit back and you watch as people put in a bunch of effort. It could be anything from you place down a couple TNT on someone's Minecraft build and blow up an entire person's build and then sit back and watch as they rage and try to rebuild it or salvage what they can. Or it can be posting some stupid one-sentence long comment and watching as people write out whole paragraphs to debunk it. I really think the core to trolling is sit back and watch as, everyone else does it just puts in a bunch more effort than you did. And the idea that you put in less effort and they're putting in more in this, like, situation means you won, Like, you just posted a thing, you just placed some TNT, and now they have, like, a day's worth of work to do repairing their base, or they just spent an hour typing something up. That's the core of it. Making people waste time and energy more than you spent to make them waste it. That's the main point.
It comes from fishing. It has nothing to do with those fucking bridge gremlins or whatever the fuck. With trolling fishing, you put the bait on the line and you drag it behind your boat. This is what trolling is. You put out bait in the form of something that someone just has to respond.
Fair point, by the way. Trolling is one of the laziest forms of fishing. Besides maybe throwing out a crab trap with some bait in it, or just sticking your like, fishing pole and, like, a thing to hold it and going inside and, like, watching TV and just looking out the window to see if it starts moving. I used to do that because I lived on the water for a time. Like, at a certain point, fishing is fun, but, like, you want to catch a fish. So you're just like, all right, I will look through the window and see if this thing starts to move. Then I'll know I have a fish. Yeah, like, the trolling is literally just stick it into a little handle and drive the boat until something bites and you catch something. You put in very little effort and you can end up catching tons of fish.
Too. Something that makes them angry, yes, but in a way which forces a response. The goal is to get under their skin, make them angry, and then make them reply. Then, you jerk them around a little. Andrew Tate needs no introduction anymore. However, my fiancée watches my videos and she is too pure for this world. I've seen her Twitter. It's just otters and parakeets wearing sombreros. It's adorable. So here's a brief explanation. Andrew Tate says incendiary, misogynistic shit on the internet. He sells a certain lifestyle to his probably underage and definitely Indian audience. Fast cars, girls, fancy clothes worn exclusively below the waist, that sort of thing. While I'm about to get into the performance of Andrew Tate, the character which he does play, and make no mistake, it is a character.
I'm so smart. I operate on so many levels.
It is a character. That's not... Well, I mean, he is a sex trafficker and he is a misogynistic piece of shit, but the things about him that appeal to his fans are entirely a character. Huh, Indian audience? He's probably making a very edgy joke about the fact that right now, like, in India, there needs to be, like, a 4B movement. There needs to be, like, badly. The ideology that Andrew Tate is pushing, I saw something, it might have been fake, but, like, Andrew Tate's audience statistics are, like, 40-something% India, like, Indian men. It's like, oh god, it's not just the white boys, guys. Holy shit. Yeah, they need a 4B movement there, so I assume that's the joke.
Higher than the average man. You people are not thinking.
I should clarify that he does suck. Not to sound libtarded or nothing, but sex trafficking is bad. Behind the character, he's not a good guy, All the same, Andrew Tate did not start out his internet presence in this
Like I said, the things that his fans like about him are the character.
way. His first big tweet was, "Never seen Star Wars. None of them. Never will."
I remember when this tweet went viral. His first ever, like, post that he made. The whole internet was dunking on him and making fun of him for being such, like, a blatant douchebag. And I think he just kind of didn't have a lot of positive, like, fan base or success for a while, and didn't blow up until, like, shortly before he became the known Andrew Tate. I think he was just kind of rage baiting for a while before he made it big. But this video really does a good job of showcasing how, online at least, the fastest and easiest way to success is to piss people off. Piss off people who care.
OMG, you're missing out, maybe. You're missing out on being a multi-millionaire. Keep your movie. This went viral. An entire Drew Gooden video was made about it.
No, I don't think that's right.
It's easy to see why. It attacks a large and passionate group, and then makes an insane assertion, opening up Tate to easy attacks from that same group. These attacks will raise engagement and ensure virality. It really is crazy how far back this tweet was. It was a year before the pandemic, long before anyone knew who the fuck this guy was.
Oh, yeah.
I liked wrestling a lot as a kid. In wrestling, there's a term which you probably know. The heel.
Yep.
Wrestling being essentially a soap opera with slightly more
You've probably heard me use the term turned heel. That's what the Paul brothers have done. I mean, going back to like 20 2017 or 2016 at this point, particularly like after the Suicide Forest thing in 2018. They leaned heavy into being the guys who are hated. Yeah, people like Andrew Tate, these people who are not necessarily hateable but popular, but people whose brand is that they're pieces of shit. Another really good example of a heel is I brought this guy up as an example in previous segments talking about this phenomenon, is Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor might be one of the most, like, he's I believe just an MMA fighter, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he's a real piece of shit. Just a real piece of shit. And he's got a massive fan base and a massive anti-fan base because he is such a piece of shit. Apparently he's fallen off more recently because he's gotten older, but for a while during his peak, his stride, he was practically unstoppable, it seemed, and such a massive cunt that, like, everyone wanted to see him get his ass beat, but it didn't happen. And he would just keep talking such awful, awful shit to groups of people, to the people he was fighting, and he would just keep on winning. And so people kept forking over their cash so they could finally see Conor McGregor get knocked out.
Sexual tension is all about the drama, the storylines which build up to these big events. The heel is the bad guy, the mustache-twirling villain who exists to either beat up the good guy and make the audience mad, or get beat up by the good guy and make the audience happy. Andrew Tate, the character, is a...
I will say, all the clips of Vince McMahon getting, like, fake beat up are really funny. I love that one clip of where he fakes getting blown up in a limo. Like they cut it, for sure, because he's not in the limo when it explodes, but it's a clip of him getting into a limo, and then as soon as the door shuts, the limo just fucking explodes. Real explosion. Filmed up close. It just fucking explodes and bursts into flames and flies apart. And the clip just ends. That's pretty fucking funny, to be honest. I don't know how that was made or like why it was made, but that I laughed when I saw that for the first time.
Heel. I'm not suggesting that he doesn't, on some level, believe the things he says. I'm not suggesting he's hiding a gender studies degree in his tiny shorts. Let's acknowledge the other side of the Andrew Tate character. The entire reason the character works in the first place. Drew Gooden made a video on this tweet, as I said. He took that sweet, sweet bait, but that was only the beginning. There have been endless videos about Andrew Tate since he honed his character to a fine edge, all of which made the makers of these videos money. Obviously. There's nothing wrong with Drew Gooden, you know, it's good bait, a harmless response video, whatever. I do, however, take a lot of issue with Drew Gooden's video where he said that Kosovo was not rightful Serbian land, but hey, the media has an anti-Serbian bias, what else is new? Did you know we shot down—
Is this dude a Serbian nationalist? What the he's memeing. Anyway, on one hand, I kind of agree. On the other, I sort of disagree. So, I used to be of the opinion, and I still kind of am, that these rage merchants require people who are angry about what they're saying to propel their success. To an extent, I want to agree with the idea that, like, there being progressives out there always mad at what Andrew Tate is saying is what keeps Andrew Tate going. But at the same time, the deeper you dig into these people, the more you realize that without anyone to call them out, they would still be just as, if not more, successful. Like, look into the past at, like, the right-wing pundits who have fallen off in years past. Most of them fell off after something bad came out about them, usually exposed by someone prominent and progressive. The fact is that even if it doesn't work for years, eventually what's going to, like in this case, what's going to happen is the more evidence of the Andrew Tate sex trafficking of minors stuff is going to come out, stuff that's like irrefutable, messages and things like that, whether he gets convicted or not, and he will. And people are going to cover it. And Andrew Tate, because of that, is going to go down in history as the guy who sex trafficked kids. At least I can only hope he will. I don't know. I want to say that the response, the, like, calling out these people helps them in a sense, but I also realize that it also doesn't help them that much. And in some ways, it can absolutely hurt them. I just saw a PragerU ad on this video about women saying you don't need a man to be happy. Xander Hall struck lightning again. Well, it's funny, like, the majority of like ads that involve politics or ads that run on political content on YouTube are right-wing channels promoting their own content. So a shitload of people report that they get PragerU and Daily Wire ads on my stuff because they run so many ads on any content that's even tangentially political, left or right. That's how they hoover up so many new subscribers, is that if you watch a video that has anything to do with politics, you're likely to get their stuff shilled at you, whether it's through ads or YouTube's algorithm. Doesn't matter. You're going to get it put in front of you.
Out a plane once you... Now, the BBC reporting on Tate's recent legal issues, for example, there's nothing wrong with that. That's news. But if you're making a video about how Andrew Tate is a big, mean man, then you're doing exactly what he fucking wants.
You people are not thinking.
Making you either an idiot...
Well, Andrew Tate has a lot bigger problems right now than people calling him out. Let's be real. He's got much bigger problems right now. The Romanian FBI and their investigation of his, sex trafficking of kids. That's the real thing that's going to take him down at this point, not people calling him out.
Or someone that just doesn't give a shit and is just willfully profiting off of this, spreading his message, playing directly into his hands for whatever pittance you're getting paid.
The fact that you know him, that you've already passed judgment on him, means he's already won. He tops the popularity contest that is online e-celebrity through his infamy.
I suspect most people just love making long videos about how they're morally superior to the Romanian sex trafficker. Wow, when you put it like that, it sounds like a massive...
He's not Romanian. He's British and... Is he British and Romanian? He's British-American. No, he's British-American. He moved to Romania to facilitate his sex trafficking business. Like, yeah. I don't know. On one hand, I feel like this guy is making a good point. On the other, I feel like he's doing this sort of like, I am above this whole conversation bit, Like this feels like a very, like, not just centrist video, but pretentious centrist video, Like, do you think it's bad that people are getting, viewers informed on, say, the charges that Andrew Tate has received, or updates in the FBI, or not, I guess not FBI, what is it called? The Bureau of, what's the Romanian, institution that's investigating him called? It's like the Romanian Bureau of Justice or something? I don't know. Isn't Turkey Tom's one of the dudes who called? Yeah, Turkey Tom fucking hates me. He's a massive retard. But, their videos talking about Andrew Tate's, criminal stuff especially, I feel like is not necessarily helping Andrew Tate. One of the girls he sex trafficked was the daughter of either president or prime minister of Romania. Holy shit!
Waste of everyone's fucking time, doesn't it? You're a better person than the Romanian sex trafficker. Recently, CoffeeZilla covered Andrew Tate's crypto scam. Wow, I can't believe the investment the Romanian sex trafficker told me about wasn't legitimate. Listen, I don't feel bad when someone that isn't elderly gets scammed by a crypto coin. I've played the meme stock game, actually made a little bit of money on Bed Bath.
I'm gonna be real here. This video feels... I feel like he sees some of the truth. Particularly the beginning segment of this video, I really liked. This little bit about how these outrage merchants operate, how it's all about just saying something stupid and watching as people who care put in 100 times more effort to debunk what you say. Really liked that point. But we're in a landscape right now where Donald Trump thanked, what's his name? Fucking Aiden Ross for helping him get elected. It's true. On the night of his accepting of the victory, Donald Trump thanked Aiden Ross up on that stage. Among other people, Aiden Ross was on that list. And other right-wing internet figures. The fact is that the right has invested unfathomable amounts of money over the last 10 years into building an internet empire because they recognize that that would be enough for them to win elections on the scale that they now have the red trifecta. They own the Supreme Court. They own the presidency, Congress. They own the Senate, the House of Representatives. They own all of it. That is because of a 10-year-long investment by the right to build this online empire that is surpassed traditional news media several times over at this point, by the way. We're talking everything from Joe Rogan to like far-right figures like Nick Fuentes, right? And now we're in this era where we recognize, okay, the right has succeeded because of their dedication to dominating internet culture and taking over the algorithms. How do you counter that? How do you counter what they have done here? Do you just ignore them? Does everybody who doesn't already agree just ignore them? Because then the centrists, the grillers, and the conservatives just continue to feed into them. There's no pushback. There's no call out. There's no alternative. Let's say you organically figure out that Andrew Tate is a little iffy, and maybe your faith in him starts to crack. No one's calling him out. There's no, like, Andrew Tate's a piece of shit and here's why. Call out things. You know, you're just hearing Andrew Tate's side of things in this reality where no one calls him out, right? Andrew Tate did not blow up because people were making these articles about the troubling rise of Andrew Tate. People continuously started talking about Andrew Tate because he was rising. You know? I don't know. I agree with the idea that the left needs to, or just people who are not the far right, need to be doing what the right has done, which is dominating the internet by calling this shit out and counter messaging. Not this idea that, like, if you're a YouTuber and you call out these awful figures, you're helping them. Like, come on, not really. Not really. Let's be real. Let's be real. Not really. I'm curious what the comments look like. I'll watch this later. Don't feed the trolls is like the top 3 rule of the early web forums, and we've all forgotten the ancient lore. The rule with trolling is actually that the first person to care is gay. That's true as well. Was going to quit drinking. You've convinced me not to. Thank you, Cobbler. Can't wait to repeat all this verbatim to my therapist so they think thoughtful and funny. Think I'm thoughtful and funny and become even more deeply suspicious about my mental state, so they keep giving... I have no idea. Okay, I guess that's like a running joke in his comment section. I don't know. This is a very centrist perspective, it feels like. What kind of videos does he usually make? Game videos, history videos, just random shit, it seems. Like a variety YouTuber. Neat. Seems like his heart is in the right place, but clearly doesn't really have, like, a dedication to the idea of, like, dismantling the right-wing media empire. The sad part is that nobody either knows or cares that, and it's being fermented by wealthy types, not just on the right, kind of feeling a bit black-pilled in this regard. Yeah, it's really sad to see that there are a lot of places on the internet right now that are polarizing rather against the right. They're polarizing against politics as a whole, which just serves the right in the roundabout. The right wants people who are, like, politically disengaged more than they want people who are, like, not necessarily more than they want people who are on the right, but, like, they'd prefer people who are politically disengaged to people who are politically engaged but on the left. The sad... Yeah, it is sad. It really is. Anyway, with all that in mind, if you guys enjoyed this segment, and you guys found it entertaining, enjoyable, or educational, then please consider leaving a like. Every single thumbs up goes a long way to boost the channel in the algorithm and helps a ton, as do subscriptions and comments as well. So like, comment, and sub if you feel like boosting the channel. It also is completely free, so I appreciate it. And if you want to see more from me on other platforms, make sure to follow my social medias, linked down below in the description if you haven't already, including my Blue Sky and my Discord server if you haven't. That's the platforms that are really popping off right now. My Blue Sky and my Discord. Hope I see you guys there. And of course, if you want to support me directly, financially, help me keep the lights on and a roof above my head here at the Xander Hall studio, then please consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or support me by donating through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, StreamElements, Patreon, or even buying merch through the Streamlabs link down below in the description. Regardless of how you support me, though, thank you so much for watching as always, and have a good one.